You could start by saying you know what the Nomi is and blah, 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 but we can go, but there's many, blah, blah, blah. Who cares? Let's just talk about it.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Witco with Ray. It's been a long time, Heather and Ken.
It has.
And
Absolutely.
A lot of things have changed since I've been up here. You have an air conditioner now.
Yeah, thank goodness.
Woo! And you have heat.
Yeah,
and you don't have to like chop wood to do that anymore.
No.
No more chopping wood.
And God, it's been a long time.
Since the Goth Mask
Since the
release
Goth,
at Devil's Reef.
At the Devil's Reef.
Which was super fun.
But we haven't filmed an episode, a Witco with Ray episode, in like a long time.
Yeah,
That's
it's
true.
been a long time.
And it feels good to be back.
We're glad to have you.
Yeah, and speaking of like old friends, we have our Nomi.
There he is.
And I think in all the videos that we've done, the Nomi has always been front and center.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, he's been special.
And I love this guy so much that I had Ken make me one. And now it lives above my bed. I sleep with my Nomi.
That's awesome.
I know, and we should have had you bring it today.
Yeah, it would be like twins.
Yeah, for sure. But we've discovered that there are many more Witcos that are small and several different collections.
Yes.
Originally, we just thought that Nomis were the only small Witcos.
And that's how you spell it.
Yeah.
Like a gnome.
Yes, and that's the tag that would have come with the Nomi if you purchased it.
Like an actual, what does it say here? These creatures dwelled in the afterlife of the Polynesian tribal chiefs and warded off evil spirits and mortals, attempting to relieve the sacred, whatever that word is, specter of its
I can't
jewels.
see because I don't have my reading glasses.
The word Nomi, styled from the word
It's the
gnome,
vulgar.
reflects another bit of Polynesian culture brought to you by Mr. Weston Haver.
Yeah.
Good story.
Yeah.
If I could understand the words that it says. And I'll tell you what, ever since I had my Nomi in my bedroom, there has definitely been no evil spirits in my
Good.
bedroom.
Oh,
So it's been kind of working out.
It's working.
But also in my bedroom is these little guys called Fun-Touchables.
Yeah.
And then you were talking to me like, oh, there's like a whole world of... Because there's a world of Nomis.
Yes.
But then there's Fun-Touchables.
There are.
To the point where there's actually a Fun-Touchables catalog.
Yeah,
let's-
this is the 1970 Fun-Touchable catalog, and it's full of hippos and horses, and everyone comes with a little card. So I think it was designed to be something you might give someone as a gift. A lot of the cards say congratulations, or someone's thinking about you, or that sort of thing. Here's one called Little Snapper. It's a little turtle, and this would be the tag that comes with Little Snapper. And there were several turtles. We have one here, and there's one next to you. Of course, all Witco is different. Every the design was done by William Weston Haver, and then handed off to carvers in the factory. So they all came out looking slightly different, which is part of the charm, really.
And I believe on these two, one was made in Canada and one was made in the U.S.
Around the 1962, Grandpa opened a factory in Sardis, BC, which is right across the border from here. And they, a lot of what they did were these small pieces. I don't think it lasted very long. I vaguely remember a story about a fire which Witco was plagued with. It was kind of a dangerous. There were lots of variables that led to fire. So I don't think it lasted very long, but we do get a lot of emails and messages from people in British Columbia asking about pieces that they find, and they find quite a few.
Yes, they do. I mean, our good buddy Jim and Mary Ellen. Like
yes.
They live in Victoria, BC.
Yes.
And it's like they're always finding something. Like,
Yep.
how the hell are you finding all that stuff?
Yeah.
Do you think that how these came about is probably from carving all the regular carvings, they have all this like chunks of wood extra just.
Yes.
And they're probably like, you know, we could do something with that.
Absolutely.
I
think they're pieces of the...
Yeah. Like, for instance, this bar that we're sitting at is the Monterey bar, and on it, there's big chunks that come out of these giant trim pieces and stuff, and they're significant. They're big enough to make a turtle or to make...
Yeah, and we're going to talk about the bar below us, and there's and its significance to something else bigger.
Yeah.
We'll get back to that at the end.
Yeah.
But for now, we're just talking about the small stuff.
Yeah.
But speaking of your grandfather, it's kind of an anniversary of sorts.
It is. His birthday is this month. So last week
June 5th?
he would have been 98, I believe. He's been gone for about 8 years, and he lived a long, healthy, productive life.
Yes.
We were lucky to known him all that time and been really close, and for him to mentor Ken in carving and design, and for him to share in some of our successes with carrying on the Witco decor tradition. And we're super blessed, and we're just grateful, and we remember him every day, because how can we not? But this would have been his 98th birthday, I believe.
Well, I think
Happy birthday.
Actually, maybe 99.
99.
He was 91 when he passed, and he's been gone 8 years, so he would have been 99.
Here's to your grandpa.
Here's to Bill.
Cheers.
Because it's safe to say none of this would be here if it wasn't for your grandpa.
No. And boy, we're discovering new things all the time. It's crazy how we learn something new every day. We've been finding a lot of pieces at the thrift store.
Yeah.
Ken's been back at that, and sharing online often our Witco Wednesday excerpts, because it's exciting to get people excited about hunting for Witco and realizing that it's still out there.
It's still out there all over,
And excited to hear stories from people and know that they're rescuing the pieces and bringing them into their own homes.
Yeah.
This piece Ken found...
Was that a walrus?
Yes, he actually bought this off of eBay. It sat there for a long time. It's called Wally, the walrus, and
it's from Canada. The people who were selling it doesn't say from Canada on bottom like the turtle, but it is from Canada.
But you could...
That would be the perfect gift to give John Lennon. I am the walrus.
Yes. And you could see that this is a very small Witco piece. It could easily have come from a chunk that was carved out from something else. Like the stools we're sitting on have huge pieces carved out of them.
Yes.
He's got really good crooked teeth.
Yeah, he does. And this piece, for years, we thought had come off of maybe a bigger wall hanging that may have had a group of owls.
Yeah.
But we just found it in one of our publications, and it's actually
a Fun-Touchable, right?
I think it's a Fun-Touchable. It's supposed to come just the way it is.
And speaking of owls, there is a different owl out there that a lot of people see that think that it's Witco.
Yeah.
With the eyes.
With the eyes cut out.
Yeah. I can't remember the name of it, but maybe like Green Mountain Manufacturing or something like that.
It's not Witco.
No.
It's still a cool owl, though.
It is.
I actually remade one for a lady.
Because you're kind of like, because I know that owl, and it's like, this definitely doesn't look like that owl. But this definitely looks Witco to me.
Yes, the paint.
Yeah.
They used that technique a lot in many, many other pieces. The squirting the paint. Ken uses that technique still.
And I think it's safe to say that like your grandfather came up with this style, the burning the wood, the big grooves in it. So there are other companies that copied that style.
Yeah. Well,
so if you see that out there, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's Witco.
No, and people have been burning wood as a treatment to bring out a patina and a darker look for centuries.
Yeah.
But the difference with him is that he moved to the Pacific Northwest, and he had readily available to him cedar.
Yes.
And it's very different when you burn and buff it and do the finishes that he did.
Yeah.
Because the wood grain is so deep and distinct.
Yes.
So that definitely gives Witco, that's a way to recognize it. There are instances, though, where, like these tikis behind you, right here on the wall.
Yes.
Or very early Witco, where they were experimenting with other woods.
Yep.
And those were made from alder, we think, and possibly carved in Canada, which is where they were experimenting with the different woods.
And you can tell that it's different.
Yes.
The wood grain is definitely...
it's heavier,
It's
too.
definitely different.
Yeah, it's heavier and just not much grain.
Yeah.
I mean, they're still cool.
They are very cool.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. This is also a Fun-Touchable.
It is.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Also, the Fun-Touchables weren't just little people, little creatures.
They were trays, and they were...
because...
Right there. It's called the Candle Bowl Z150.
Yes. And you can see that there are many different things in there.
So I thought the Fun-Touchables were like little guys, because I have Ralph's brother, Ralph's horse, and I thought it was like, it's like the cousins to Nomis, but but the Nomis are
there are figures too.
Yeah, but the Nomis are just Nomis though. They're figures.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. There's no walruses in the Nomi family.
I don't think so.
don't think
There's
so
no
either.
animals.
I know. Well, there's a horse. Well, what?
There's no
Ralph.
animals.
Oh, that Ralph's horse is a Fun-Touchable.
Fun-Touchables collection also had metalwork.
Really?
Like you can see behind us, this Viking ship, we just brought it into or Viking warrior. It hung in our house 20 years ago, and
what about this?
we brought it back in. Yeah, that's a Fun-Touchable.
It is a Fun-Touchable.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Giraffe. Yep.
His name is...
And
this is what I do almost every day of my life, is looking up stuff for people to tell them the name. Corky.
Corky. And
you think I'd have it all memorized by now.
The big piece behind us.
Yes.
Late 60s, probably 1968.
Yeah.
And it's just called Viking.
Viking.
Yes. We had a heck of a time lifting it up there because it is so heavy.
It is.
And then, let's see. This is one of our most recent finds. It's called Yellow Bird. Has the squirted paint in it. We've seen this in catalogs for years, but it was just a black and white picture.
Yeah.
And it was from this angle. And so we were so surprised to see that beautiful...
Was at the Goodwill. I looked down and the only thing I seen was that, and I'm like, that's Witco. I knew it.
Damn.
Yeah, because that right there, that's the painting is absolute.
Quintessential.
Yeah.
Yes, so very happy to have this piece. We search Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, the thrift stores. Not that long ago, we were... Actually, you saw it. It was at a garage sale, and in the background was a heavily painted... portable bar from the
I didn't see it.
You saw it.
Grant.
Yeah.
Grant Shaw showed us.
And Grant Shaw messaged and asked if we were going to go get it. Ken went and got it, and it turns out it was about 10 minutes from our house.
Yeah, was it 15 maybe?
The woman that sold it to us for $50, $50, said that her mom had stolen it from the Elks Club. Yeah. When she was a teenager.
And she gave me...
And as she was leaving, she threw in this mask, which is terribly rotted, but we don't care. We'll love it anyway.
And if any of the Tiki Golf Club members out there, that looks familiar, that was the inspiration for the mask.
Yeah. Yep. And this...
So you kind of made that mask your own then?
Yeah.
That's
horns.
That's a Tiki Goth mask.
Yeah, it's a Tiki Goth mask.
Yeah, just for the club.
Yes, it is.
This is interesting because we were always skeptical about small tikis.
Yeah.
And people asking us, is this Witco? Is this Witco? Is this Witco? We never really knew until we found this Fun-Touchable catalog that there's...
And Zoo-Ettes.
And Zoo-Ettes, which is another branch. And this is actually a Zoo-Ette.
That is?
I think so.
That's a Zoo-Ette right there.
No, okay, well, what's, hold on. So, okay, we have this here. Zoo-Ette. So
Well, that brochure is from the Canadian factory. Says right on top,
And
made in Canada by Witco Zoo-Ettes.
And this one's from Mount Vernon.
Yeah.
So they're they're
So
different.
what's the difference between the Zoo-Ettes and the Fun-Touchables then?
I think they just expanded on the line.
I do too.
Zoo-Ettes are
Because
I'm looking because I'm seeing I'm seeing like a lot of creatures.
yeah animals.
Half of them you can't even tell what they are.
They're all animals, except when you open the very last page,
And the
there's
masks.
all tiki masks.
Yes.
So tiki masks were included in the Zoo-Ettes.
So
And
that's
they're
a Zoo-Ette then.
Yes, it's
And
right
crazy.
here.
Yeah,
Polynesian mask.
mask. Yep.
Z432. So this hangs out on the side of our
Shed.
yeah. What else do we have, Ray?
Oh my God, this guy.
Oh yeah. Small tiki. We've argued for years about what that was. I thought it was a gnu. Ken said it was a horse. He was right. It's called standing horse. It is neither a Zoo-Ette or a Nomi or a Fun-Touchable. It's just standing horse, and it's a really early small Witco piece, 1962,
Crazy.
which is only about 4 years after they
Started.
their business.
Mm-hmm.
Now this is another metal piece, really beautiful mid-century design. It is part of the
Giacometti Gerardo.
he Grandpa's line was called the Primitic. It's not primitive.
No,
It's
primitic.
Primitic.
I think he made it up.
Yeah.
We think he
His
made the
own.
word up.
Yeah.
This has been in my family. It's probably the prototype, but it was sold for many years at Witco, and this particular one's featured in Tiki Modern by Sven Kirsten.
Yeah.
Very popular design. I don't think we've ever seen another one, although I know they're out there because they were sold for quite a while.
We've made a few.
Yeah. Ken experimented with metalwork a little bit.
What's
Seems
cool
very-
about this
seems
one is
very, very tough.
Bill actually signed this.
This is
That's even heavier.
This is a golfer.
That's
a golfer?
The original base. I
Yeah,
think.
this probably does. Yeah, he's swinging his golf
Oh
club.
yeah.
Yeah, this one's in very good
A lot of
condition.
cobwebs.
This was in our family for its entirety, but my uncle had this at his house, and he recently moved to a tiny house, and so we're the keepers of a lot of pieces that he can't store anymore. And this was a gift from my grandfather to him, because they're all avid golfers.
They all love golf. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa.
This is
That's cool.
one of my favorite things that we have in our collection. It's not necessarily Witco, but it's from the early 60s. This is the prototype of a huge sculpture. I believe was like 60 some feet tall, made from a giant cedar that Grandpa carved and installed in front of Skagit Valley College.
Yes.
In Mount Vernon, and it was still there when I went to school there in 1991.
Yeah.
But was torn down not too many years after, and I'm really lucky to have this piece. This sat up on the bar at my grandparents' house while I was growing up.
Yeah.
And Grandpa always said that this was the piece he was the most proud of all the thousands of designs that he did.
Yeah.
This was his pride and joy.
I've seen pictures of the actual.
Yes.
It was huge.
Yeah,
It
huge.
is, yeah.
And so just stunning.
Yes.
And so modern and just really, really, really cool. And I have this little version that I can look at all the time, which is really great.
Yeah. So we've been talking about all the little smaller stuff, but we want to move on to something a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about
The Monterey Bar.
the Monterey Bar, which is what we're sitting at. And I think what we should do is we should come behind the bar and give a little quote-unquote tour of this thing.
Sure. So this is the Monterey Bar. Late 60s, early 70s.
Yeah.
It is upholstered with a fuzzy faux fur crushed velvet gold fabric. Ken found it probably about 10 or 15 years ago locally.
At least, yeah.
At a garage sale in Cedar Woolley.
Yeah.
For how much?
$50.
Yeah. Recently, Ken recreated this bar, a modified version. Our friend Bamboo Ben Bassam, reached out to us, and he had visited with Linda Ramon and J.D. King, and they wanted him to build a tiki bar for their outdoor space. And he said that every picture they brought up as reference to what they would prefer the bar to look like was Witco. And so he told them, I know the guy. So he contacted us. We were actually just sitting around on a Sunday, lazing around, and I was flipping channels, and I was watching Norman Reedus, his motorcycle show. I think it's called Ride. And on the TV was Linda Ramon. He was visiting her house at the same time that
Ben was messaging me about all this.
Ben messaged and put Ken in touch with Linda, and she messaged you some ideas.
Yeah.
And her number one bar that she wanted, she messaged a picture of this Monterey bar, which coincidentally we have in our attic, that Ken had found for $50 at a garage sale. So it was a challenge for you, I would say.
The challenge was, instead of faux fur that's that thick where you can cut your wood and mess up and it's covered by faux fur, she wanted a sparkly green vinyl background, so everything had to be cut perfect so you didn't have big gaps that she would see. So it was quite
But the upside is that you had the exact model here. You didn't have to look at a picture and guess.
Nope.
You knew the measurements, you knew the cuts, and so building your template and
I did not know how to bend plywood.
Yeah.
But I figured that out.
Yeah, you learned something new. And the bar turned out absolutely amazingly. And
it did.
It's spectacular. It's a showpiece.
Yeah.
So we were really happy
Very
with
proud of it.
The final result. And it ended up working out that we took a road trip to Southern California, and among other pieces, we had some other pieces to deliver. We got to deliver the bar to JD and Linda, and they were thrilled. We helped set it up and had
we broke it in.
Yep, Aperol Spritz and visited, and it was just the best.
Yeah, well, very cool.